Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today is going to be just a quick weekly reading update. It's going to go over like the past week and a half. I haven't been able to sit down and film, but I have a few books that I want to talk about, and I have one that I really loved, so that's a bit unusual. Not that unusual, but no, it's kind of rare for me to find something that I'm just like super into. So let's talk about the ones that you already know about, like The Promised Neverland, which I have a dedicated review to and just did not work for me. This is not I know it's not a super disturbing manga. If you've read really disturbing stuff, there's much worse out there, as I was told many times in the comments. But for me, it just was too much and I am pretty sensitive to certain things. So yeah, just didn't work, but very well written, very well paced. There you go. Also, this one, I'm liking this series. This is the second book of My Happy Marriage. I'm enjoying it. I am definitely gonna read number 3. I'm hoping that that's where the action and the magic system is gonna pick up, because I do like the characters. And this one was pretty quick read. It's mainly her, like I said, buying a gift for him, I believe, and then kind of their interactions, and then at the end she's kidnapped and he's gonna go save her and hopefully just start using that magic so we can see what it's all about. So yeah, that's this one. I like it. It's not amazing or anything. It's pretty straightforward, kind of love story, but I like it. So then I read Mask of Red Death, which I really liked, by Edgar Allen Poe. And this is this prince during a pandemic or epidemic, or however you would say it back then. But it was Black Plague style, death going around. And he takes all of his nobles and friends and goes and walls himself into this castle. And they're having all these parties and being, just living it up, because nothing can touch them there. And then of course one night, spoilers, one night during a masquerade, this Mask of Red Death comes. This guy dressed up as someone who's succumbed to this illness comes and of course kills everybody. And it was delightful in the best of ways, and the perfect October read. And I loved it. I think it was just really well written, the perfect amount of scary and creepy, and you can't escape death, and I just loved it. Recommend. Okay, then I read The Great Gatsby, which I will do a dedicated review to. I'm not going to talk much about it now because I have so much to say, and I'm so annoyed, and I really didn't like it, and I really hated the characters, and I really, I am not somebody that has a lot of feelings about rich people, because it's not my thing. I don't really sit there and go oh, people shouldn't be that rich, or I don't care. That's not my thing. Some people are really oh, eat the rich. And I'm okay, whatever. But if you don't want to hate rich people, don't read this book, because this will make you hate rich people, because these people are insufferable. And I think that is a testament to the writing skill, because the writing is good. I despised these characters. I absolutely hated the entitled mentality, the ridiculous over-the-top opulence that so unnecessary, and it's all for nothing. And it was so frustrating for me to read this book and have it be oh, this is a classic, it's so good. No, everyone in that book was trash. And I will die on that hill. They were all trash and they deserve nothing. Ugh, okay. Great Gatsby, I will do a review because I'm ready to rant about it and I just was so angry. But I read that. My standout read was Coraline. I absolutely loved it. It's so good. Coraline is about a little girl who, of course, it's kind of I think a really interesting take on the finding another world, Narnia kind of style, there's a door to another world, but then this ends up being horrible. And there's this evil entity on the other side that's plotting against her. And I think that that's perfect, and it was an awesome read for October, and I just loved it. It was so good. It was so the writing was great. I will say the only thing I would say is a weakness for this book is it definitely felt like it was written to be adapted into a Tim Burton film. I don't know if he's actually the one who did it, but I just it's that style. It's so that creepy, but a little bit lighthearted creepiness. But definitely there was moments where I was oh, but in the best way. So I definitely recommend Coraline. I like the main character. It's overall just about her and her family, and her kind of feeling her parents don't pay attention to her. And then there's this dark, evil other mother that tries to lure her over to this other world. And says that she'll give her all the love and affection that she's not getting. And of course, Coraline's like, no, not about it. And then she has to go and save her parents and all this other stuff that happens. So I highly recommend, if you haven't read Coraline, it's super good. And I think it's perfect, like if you're looking for something a little bit spooky but not scary. And obviously it's dark, and there's like very dark themes and things that happen and kind of like icky stuff. But I think that what makes it okay is it's told from a child's perspective. So you can only be as scared as a child's understanding of these things, which is why it's not super dark and didn't bother me. Because you're kind of at this thing of like, oh yeah, this is like horrible if you really think about it. But Coraline isn't really thinking about it. And Coraline always believes that she can win, that she can save her parents, that she's, you know, able to do it. She just needs to be brave. She just needs to, you know, keep going. And I think that's what kind of gives it that like, oh, it's like scary, but it's not too scary. And I really like it. So yeah, definitely recommend Coraline. If you haven't read it, read it. And I think that's it for what I've read for the last week and a half. I'm gonna try and get to a couple more things, but Great Gatsby kind of took it out of me. So after I film that review, I will let you know what I get to. Let me know what you're reading in the comments, and I will talk to you guys soon.